Hey guys, this is Will at Third and Long. Today we are going to be looking at the 2023 SEC projected win and loss records for the entire conference, plus their strength of schedules, the offensive ranks, and defensive ranks. So hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get started. We got a pretty big list here. And the very first site that we are going to be looking at is the K Forward Rating site. I specifically picked this website because it breaks down every single team and gives us the stats on every team. So let's go ahead and get started, starting out with Georgia. Really, there's not much to look at here. If you look in the top right-hand corner, you see what the record should be projected at. You also see in the top corner where the team ranks total, where their offense ranks, where their defense ranks, and at the bottom right, where their strength of schedule is. Georgia here has a pretty weak strength of schedule. They have a really easy year. Kirby Smart, they were supposed to play Oklahoma this year, but that got delayed because Oklahoma is moving to the SEC in 2024. I wish they still would have played it because they really don't play anybody the whole year. So let's just run through this. We have UT Martin, win, Ball State, win, South Carolina, win, UAB, win, Auburn, win, Kentucky, win, Vanderbilt, win, Florida, steamroll them, Missouri, win, Ole Miss. That could be a tough game just because I never want to overlook Lane Kiffin's team. They can sometimes catch you off guard, but it's a win. Tennessee win, Georgia Tech win. They're going to run the table unless there's a massive upset, but no one is projecting any upset right now. They win by default. There's just no challenges throughout the regular season. They're not going to get challenged to the SEC championship. They don't have to play Alabama. They don't have to play LSU. So they completely avoid the best teams in their conference on the regular season schedule. But here they're ranked as the number one team, offense 6, defense 2. They will always have a great defense. We don't know what the offense will look like as of right now, just because we haven't seen the new quarterback play, but we'll see what happens during the season. But as of right now, Georgia goes 12-0 going into the SEC championship. Next, we have Tennessee. They had a great year last year. Josh Heupel did amazing last year. But this year, they're going to be breaking in Joe Milton at quarterback. They lost Hyatt, but they're still going to be loaded at the playmaker positions. But I'm expecting them to take a little slight step back this year. Not a big step back. They will still be competitive, but they're not going to be top 10 competitive. Right here, they project them at 8.6 wins and 3.4 losses, so pretty much going 9-3. They have them as the 11th best team, offense 3, defense 35, and a 16th strength of schedule. So that's pretty difficult. But let's run through and see what I project. So I think they beat Virginia. I think they beat Austin Peay. Florida, I think they beat them again. So good thing for them because Tennessee lost, like 16 straight years or something like that. So good job for them getting a little win streak going there. UTSA, win. South Carolina, win. Now coming into Texas A&M, I think Texas A&M has started to get the ball rolling by the halfway point of the season, so they're feeling pretty good. They've kind of worked out some of the kinks with Bobby Petrino's offense. So I actually think A&M upsets Tennessee here. And then the Alabama game, it's not like last year. I'm just not feeling it this year, but it would be interesting to see. But I think Alabama's going to win that game if I had to put money on it as of right now. Then they follow up those back-to-back losses by going to Kentucky. I think they beat Stoops there. And then UConn, that's obviously a win. Missouri, win. Georgia's going to get them. That's a loss. Vanderbilt, win. So I have them finishing the year 9-3. Next, we're looking at UF. Billy Napier, last year finished tough. This year, I think it's going to be worse. They have them projecting going 6-6, 25th ranked team. I don't see how that's possible. The offense, 23. That's completely not going to happen. Defense, 46. No, they are going to be worse than that. Here's the kicker, number one strength of schedule. Florida has a rough schedule. They play everybody except Alabama in their conference. So at Utah, Cam Rising, we don't know if he's playing yet. If he plays, Utah wins. If he doesn't play, their backup got hurt. Will the third string beat Florida? Florida's a hot mess right now. They have Graham Mertz transferred in from Wisconsin. He's going to be the quarterback. It's just, as of right now, there's too many unknowns with Florida. There's more unknowns with Florida than Utah possibly being down to their third string quarterback. So I say Utah wins. So Florida's going to lose that. McNeese State is a win for Florida. Tennessee's a loss, as we already said. Charlotte win. Kentucky, I think they lose to Kentucky again here. Vanderbilt, a win. South Carolina, I think they lose to Beamer's team here. I think Rattler's going to get them, and they're going to lose that game, but it's 50-50. And then next, Georgia, they're going to lose that in Jacksonville. Arkansas, loss. LSU, loss. Missouri, they'll beat. Going into the Florida State game, feeling kind of good, and then they're going to get steamrolled by Florida State. I have UF going 4-8, and that's a shame to say. They have such a strong fan base. They've been sticking in there. It's just with everything they lost, with Anthony Richardson leaving, and even with him last year was horrible. So I think they're taking a massive step back, and I think there's going to be pitchforks out for Billy Napier by the end of the season, but Florida 4-8. Next, we have Kentucky. Stoops has a pretty good year. He pretty much always has the same type of season every single year. They're pretty stable, but they lost Will Levis, but they're bringing in Devin Leary from NC State. If you guys don't remember, back in 2021, he had 35 touchdowns, 5 picks, so we know what he can do if given the opportunity. So I think that is going to kind of help Kentucky float a little bit, even though Stoops isn't really known for his offensive play there. But I'm giving Kentucky having a pretty decent season. They have them going 7-5, 26th best team, offense 63, defense 7, strong defense. Strength of schedule 12. That's tough right there. So let's break it down. Ball State win, Eastern Kentucky win, Akron win, Vanderbilt win, UF win. At this point, they're 5-0, so they're probably ranked right now, right around like 16 or 17, feeling pretty good. Then they go into Georgia and lose. Missouri win 6-1, still looking good. Tennessee loss. Mississippi State, they will beat them. Mississippi State has a big change coming this year. Bama loss. South Carolina lost, Louisville lost. Look at the end of the season. It's a pretty tough stretch there. I think that's what gets them and hurts them, but they still finished the year 7-5. So pretty typical Kentucky season. So good by their standards. Next, we have South Carolina. Shane Beamer's team was upsetting everybody at the end of last year. They went 8-5 last year. Spencer Rattler's back. They are only projecting them to go 6-6, so really not doing too well. Ranked as the 36th best team. Offense 24. It's pretty good. Defense 64, 4th toughest strength of schedule. Wow. So let's break it down. North Carolina, I have them losing to Mac Brown's team here. I have them beating Furman, losing to Georgia. Mississippi State, I have that as a loss. I think Mississippi State's going to be really physical. Will Arnett's a great defensive coordinator, so I think Mississippi State actually turns up for that game. Tennessee, they're going to lose. And then Florida's a win, Missouri win, Texas A&M. By this point, they've gotten the ball rolling. Bobby Petrino's offense is clicking on all cylinders, so I think that's a loss. And then Jacksonville State win, Vanderbilt win, Kentucky win. Clemson is a loss. I don't think they're going to upset Clemson again this year. So I have South Carolina finishing 6-6, exactly what they were projected out. It's not that they're bad, it's that their strength of schedule is so difficult. Any decent team would have a hard time going 8-4 or 7-5 with that schedule. Next, we're looking at Missouri. They have them going 6-6, so just making a bowl game. 38 best team, offense 57, defense 20, 9th strength of schedule. Wow. So some of these teams have it really difficult in the SEC this year. South Dakota win, Middle Tennessee win, Kansas State loss. Memphis win. Vanderbilt, I'm feeling a win there. LSU is going to have them. That's a loss. Kentucky, loss. South Carolina, loss. Georgia, loss. Tennessee, loss. UF, loss. Like I said, they're going to feel pretty good going into that last week. And Arkansas, loss. So really, look at that last portion of the schedule there. So many top-ranked teams. That's so rough. And I have them going, 7 straight losses to end the year. Wow. After starting out the year 3-1. So I have them right now going 4-8. Tough year for Missouri. Next, we're looking at Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt has their complete stadiums under construction. There's a lot going on there. But let's look. We have them playing Hawaii, tomorrow? I have them beating Hawaii, beating Alabama A&M, losing to Wake Forest, beating UNLV, losing to Kentucky, losing to Missouri, losing to UF, losing to Georgia. Ole Miss at Ole Miss? No, that's a loss. Losing to Auburn. Hugh Freeze should have everything clicking for him by the end of the season. So I have them losing to Auburn. South Carolina, I have them winning that one. They're going to get one in there. And then Tennessee is a loss. I have Vanderbilt as of right now going 4-8. which is pretty much what they were projected at. Here they have them at 4-8, 76th best team, offense 64, defense 106. Gosh, that's awful. And strength of schedule 15. So they have 106th ranked defense, the 15th toughest strength of schedule. That doesn't equal good things. Next, we have Bama. I think there's going to be some close games here. They lost Bryce Young. They lost Anderson. They don't even know who their starting quarterback is. Saban lost both coordinators. One to Ole Miss. One Bill O'Brien back to the Patriots. They bring in Reese from Notre Dame. He's kind of an old school Saban type of offense, so we'll see if that still fits in college football today. But I think Alabama's going to take a little step back. When I say step back, I don't mean they're going to have a bad year. I think they're just going to not make the playoffs, which to Bama standards is a bad year. But I have a whole video on breaking down Alabama's win and loss record this year, so go watch that. But we'll just run through it real quick. Middle Tennessee, obvious win. Texas, I have them losing that. They barely won that game last year. Everything went in their favor. Texas was down to their backup quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think Texas is going to beat them this year. Texas should have beat them last year. So they'll be 1-1 at that point, and Saban's going to be mad. So he's going to start whooping some of these next teams. USF, win. Ole Miss, win. Mississippi State, win. Texas A&M. This is a tough one here just because we don't know what we're going to see from the Aggies yet, but I think Alabama's defense will carry the day here. I think they'll win there, beat Arkansas, beat Tennessee. This is one of those games you just don't know because both teams are breaking in new quarterbacks. We'll see how they play, but I'll give the edge to Alabama as the better roster as of right now. LSU, I think Brian Kelly and Jaden Daniels are going to get them again. I think it's Jaden Daniels' legs that are going to make the difference, and he's going to be scrambling for first downs and running clock. So LSU wins that, and then Bama finishes out the year beating Kentucky, beating Chattanooga, beating Auburn. Auburn's one of those games, again, we don't know how Hugh Freeze's team will be, but we have to give Hugh Freeze time. I don't think he's going to come in first year just upsetting top teams. So I have Alabama finishing 10-2, possibly, still being in competition for the SEC West and getting a chance at Georgia, but more than likely things are going to finish exactly how they finished last year. Next, LSU. Brian Kelly is going to be ready to follow up last season. Looks like the overall, they have them at 9.4 and 2.6, so they have them going 9-3. And just to go back to Alabama, they had them finishing at 10-2, so pretty much what I picked at 4 offense, defense, 9, 5th toughest schedule. I don't know about that, but for LSU, we have them as the 5th best team. I think that's too high. The offense, 10, to me, too high. Defense, 14, that's fine. The strength of schedule, 10. So LSU has a tough road. Let's break it down. I think Florida State, they lose to Florida State, I think. I think it's another kind of similar to last year, but a little lower scoring, but I think Florida State beats them out the gate. Although I think Florida State's a little overhyped this year, but still they beat LSU because I think they're both overhyped. Grambling State, win. Mississippi State, win. Arkansas, win. Ole Miss, I think that's a loss there. I had to pick some type of upset there because I just feel it's going to happen. I think Lane Kiffin's going to sneak up on them and get them there. Missouri, win. Auburn, win. Army, win. Alabama, I have that as a win, as I already said. Florida, win. Georgia State, win. A&M, win. I have LSU finishing 10-2. That's a really good year. Brian Kelly's a great coach. I think they're going to do good things, so I have them finishing 10-2. Next team, Texas A&M. Jimbo Fisher bringing in Bobby Petrino. We don't know what we're going to see from that, but we know that Bobby Petrino can call plays. He can call offense. They have them as the 16th best roster. Offense 49, defense 4. Really good defensive front. 6th toughest schedule. So let's break down what I think they're going to do this year after finishing 5-7 and missing a bowl game last year. They have them going 8-4. I have them beating New Mexico. I have them going to Miami and losing. Miami almost beat them last year with horrible Josh Gaddis calling plays. And Tyler Van Dyke is going to have an air raid offense now. I think Miami should beat them. Both teams have new coordinators, so we don't know what both teams will look like as of now, but I think Miami carries the day there. I have Texas A&M starting to rebound. They're starting to get things clicking. ULM, win. Auburn, win. Arkansas, win. A loss to Bama. Loss to Tennessee. Things are starting to get a little shaky here, but they're going to try to finish out strong. They're going to beat South Carolina. They're going to lose to Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss is better than a lot of people think they are. They're going to beat Mississippi State. They're going to beat Abilene Christian, and they're going to beat LSU. Sorry, they're going to lose to LSU. So I have A&M going about 7-5. So a improvement on last year, but setting up big things for 2024. Next, we have Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin's team here. He has Jackson Dart at quarterback. He is one of the best running backs, one of the best ground games in the country. I think they finished last year 4th or 5th in total rushing yards per game. So Lane Kiffin's offense is going to be ground and pounding it. They have them going 7-5, 18th best team. So they're the 18th best team going 7-5. 16th offense, 31 defense, pretty decent. Second toughest strength of schedule. Wow. Okay, so let's break it down. Mercer, win. Tulane, win. Georgia Tech, win. They're feeling pretty good going into the Bama game, and I think they're going to lose. Although Lane Kiffin is set to upset Saban at some point. It has to happen one year, but I don't think this is the year yet. And LSU, like I said, I think they upset them. They beat Arkansas. They lose to Auburn. I think they'll lose to Auburn, even though they are favored, just because Auburn has to pull some upsets this year because they will be better. Vanderbilt win. A&M win. Lost to Georgia. They beat ULM. They beat Mississippi State. I have Ole Miss finishing, to me, 9-3, even with that tough schedule. While I think it's conceivable they go 8-4, I don't see them going 7-5. I think Kiffin's way too good. His ground game is too good. I have them going 9-3, 8-4 at worst. Next, Arkansas. KJ Jefferson's back, but they lost Briles. They picked up Dan Enos as offensive coordinator. I honestly don't think he is any good at all. But let's take a look at this. They have them going 7-5, 30th best team, offense 19, defense 62. Pretty tough strength of schedule, so let's break this down. They have them, Arkansas, win versus Western Carolina, win versus Kent State, BYU, win. LSU, I have that as a loss. Things are going to get tough here. At Texas A&M, I have a loss. At Ole Miss, loss. At Bama, loss. Jeez, what a tough run here. These are 4 potential ranked teams here. Loss, 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 loss. Then we have Mississippi State, win. Florida, win. Auburn, I have that as a loss. I think Auburn's going to be pretty improved this year. They'll be better than Arkansas. FIU, win. Missouri, win. So I have Arkansas finishing 7-5, so about right where they were picked. Mississippi State, Mike Leach is gone. May he rest in peace. I loved Mike Leach. Zach Arnett's the head coach now. He was the defensive coordinator before. They still have Will Rogers at quarterback. I think had Mike Leach been there, this is a 9-win regular season team. Without Mike Leach, no. They have them going 6-6, 34th best team, offense 32, defense 30. They always have a pretty good defense. 14th toughest strength of schedule. Let's break it down. Southeastern Louisiana, win. Arizona, win. LSU, I have that as a loss. South Carolina, I think they'll win that. They're really physical. They're going to shut Spencer Rattler down, and they're going to hit him. Alabama, loss. Western Michigan, win. Arkansas, loss. Auburn, loss. Kentucky, loss. A&M, I think they're going to lose that. Southern Mississippi, win. Ole Miss, loss. I have them going 5-7, just missing a bowl game. It's too big of a change. They are going air raid to a more conventional style of offense where they're going to run about 60% of the time. I don't think they have the bodies to do that. I think it's going to take time to recruit them. And Will Rogers is an air raid quarterback. To me, they should have stayed more a little pass heavy till they transition the roster. So I don't think they're going to be able to utilize him as much as they used to. So 7-5. Finally, coming in last, we have Auburn. Hugh Freeze is in town. They have Peyton Thorne. He was the quarterback from, Michigan State. He transferred in. He's actually pretty decent. So with Hugh Freeze there, we know that their offense is going to be good. They have them going 6-6, so a little better than last year. 29th best team. 3rd toughest strength of schedule. Wow. They have them as a pretty good offense, pretty good defense. Let's look at their schedule, see what they're going to do. I have them beating UMass, beating Cal, beating Samford, losing to A&M because they're a little ahead of them in their rebuilding, losing to Georgia, losing to LSU. At this point, they'd be 3-3. But Ole Miss, I have them upsetting Ole Miss here because things will start clicking. Hugh Freeze is going to have things going well. Thorne should be pretty decent. Mississippi State, win. Vanderbilt, win. Arkansas, win. So they're getting on a run here going into the last portion of the season because that's the easier portion of their schedule. They're going to beat New Mexico State. Alabama, they'll lose. But I have Auburn potentially going 8-4 on the year. That's a huge improvement. Hugh Freeze should be able to right the ship. They are recruiting well. Transfer portal, they are working that well. So that's my breakdown of the SEC. I have Georgia running the table, and I have a couple teams just not making bowl games. But from what we saw there, really tough strengths of schedule this year for almost every team except Georgia. I don't know how they skated by, but they don't play anybody. But the SEC is going to be tough this year. Who are they going to be getting in the Final Four? More than likely Georgia, but we'll have to see. So like I said, guys, that's my breakdown for the win-loss records for the SEC. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thanks.